Chris, I'm going to spread out the cards, and I would like you to please touch a card, okay? Right there. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to do this as fairly as I can because not only do you see the card, we're going to leave the card sticking out of the pack. I want you to see it sticking right out of the deck right there, okay? And I'm going to go do this very slowly, be as fair as I can. I'm even going to take the cards, okay? Slip them slowly. I'm going to do this inside the card case, okay? And we're going to leave your card sticking out till the very last second. I want you to see. Only now. Slowly. All the way into the deck, okay? I'm going to close the case up like this, okay? Now, I want you to really bring in the camera. I want you to see this. Watch very carefully. I just have to give the case a shake. You saw it happen. One card just melted up through all the cards in the case, up through the very top of the case. Your card. You saw it happen. I love that line. I don't know when I first came up with it, years and years ago, and I'm not smiling like some egomaniac who's thrilled with putting a few words together to support his card illusion. That would be pathetic. But I am smiling because I think it's pretty sneaky. I think it's pretty sneaky, and I know how many reactions I've been able to goose. Now, you saw it happen isn't going to make or break a trick, but it will goose it. And that's really, that's a big part of the art, I think, of magic and creating illusion, is first taking simple, clear magic tricks. Maybe they're technically difficult, maybe they're not technically difficult. That's got nothing to do with the experience. Hopefully, the secret methods are secret. This is something too many younger magicians forget about, particularly intermediate, because I do find beginner magicians and experienced magicians hold on to these important truths. It's in the middle where people get lost wandering down roads. And if you like something for arcane or strange reasons, totally cool. But I'm here on this channel really focusing on doing magic for real people in the real world, that kind of situation. So, having said all that, this notion of being able to take a trick that you already have down pat, that's clear, that's uncluttered, that's magical, that's deceptive, and then finding these little bells and whistles, these things around it that you can drop to raise the experience, to color the experience. Those are really valuable, especially if you're like me and you already know a bunch of tricks. You're looking for that. Okay, how do we? You can learn so much in magic in 6 months or the first few years, the first decade. After that, like in so many things, you have to seemingly work harder and harder to learn a little bit more. And in this case, that line, you saw it happen. You can use it anywhere. Now, there's ways to do it to piss people off, frankly, but just this notion of adding that you saw it happen. You saw it happen. It's a nice way to reassure them. So, you saw it happen, it comes up. What is this? This is an idea I came up with probably 15, 20 years ago. I had learned Marlowe's convincing control, a wonderful, what a great control. I've talked about it here on the channel a couple of times. And so the card is on the bottom of the deck. And it occurred to me to combine that with an idea, again, this is an old idea of when putting the cards inside the card case, you can easily slip the bottom card of the deck below the case, fine. Where I took it, that's sort of has a more fresh vibe to it, is if you palm the card off and then do this fun little kick move with your left fingers, you can create this illusion of a card coming up through the card case. Now, you don't have to use Marlowe's convincing control. You could, there's other way, but you combine these elements, the Marlowe convincing control, and the sweet thing I really liked is the moment that card is being put inside the case, they get to watch it until you close the case. All these elements add up to just, I think, an exceptional card illusion. At the same time, of course, what a great ambitious card phase, okay? Especially if your next step is to maybe finish with my trick paperclip or something like that. I love the idea of that at the end of the ambitious card, at the end of your impromptu walk around ambitious card, it ends with the cards already in the case. I think that's very elegant. So step one is having the card selected, okay? So you spread out the cards, having someone touch a card. I'm gonna tell you right now, when you have someone touch a card, out-jog it for a second and say, are you sure that's the one you want? You're sure this card isn't calling to you? Or maybe this one up here? Or maybe this one all the way down here? It's your choice. I find taking that just a couple of extra seconds to really emphasize, could have been up here, could have been down there, really goes a long way towards separating you, in a sense, from those amateur magicians who just say, pick a card. Here it's less about picking, and it has almost a, I don't know, a more soulful selecting, and you really emphasize the fairness. So that's one little tip I wanted to share with you. Spread through, give them a few choices. Because notice, and I've had this happen, I find people stick with their card most of the time. But maybe about 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 times they go no. And so you get this action where you go, boom, and go to another. I think of a wave kind of going back into the ocean. There was a possibility we were going that way, but now we're going this way. Okay? So card is touched, and maybe they changed their mind, whatever, way down here. And what you're going to do is, if they touch this card, you're going to take the cards above it and align, basically, you know, once you practice, it'll be smooth. It's supposed to look like you just kind of show the card. But you want to make sure this card and this card are aligned. And by aligned, I mean like this. One lined up neatly with the other, okay? Then you move these forward, not too far forward and not, about halfway forward, okay? So you got half the card showing here, and I come up and show. And I'm showing you the card. That is your card. Sometimes I've even seen guys break it and say, so here, remember this card. And it's sort of, not that it needs a justification, but it's nice that this left hand has a use to remember this card. Okay? So they see that card, in this case, the Jack of Clubs. Now, I want to go down. And when I go down, I want to make it look like the Jack of Clubs is left sticking out of the deck. Right? And I've covered this on at least one other video here, but to save you having to search through them all, my friends, is as I come down, my left thumb is pressing not on the selection, but the card above it on this bottom corner here. I'm going to gently press, hold it in place. And my right fingers are going to slide the selected card into that position. Move the hand down, and notice from this position, the selection, when I square, automatically moves to the bottom. So, that's the broad strokes. Let me now drill down into the nitty-gritty, because I really want you guys to get this. So when I'm showing it, I'm going to be showing it like this. Okay? My left thumb, it's got a corner, my fingers, and it happens under this action. You'll have to choose, this is definitely mirror practice, my friends. You're here, and as I go down, my right fingers are going to slide the card to the right. Okay? No rush. You don't want, this is not one of these things. Notice if I happen to do the move and I'm here, watch me do the move absolutely invisibly and absolutely suspiciously. Okay? No one saw anything there because I didn't switch. I kept the card there, okay? But boy, it's suspicious. So don't get caught in that. The most important thing in general, whenever doing a secret move, is for there to be no sense. Even if they flash a little bit, it's better for you to go softly. So once I've gone down and done this move and switched the one card for the other, and I'm here like this. I'm here, and I'm going to square up the cards, and as I do, my right middle finger is going to kick this card slightly to the side for a second. And that's going to allow me, either with a pinky pull down, which I'm crap at, so I tend to do the old riffling up with the thumb off the back. I press down with the first finger. The thumb pulls up the deck, and I get a break under, or I should say above, the selected card. I end up with a pinky break above the selected card. Okay, like this. So that's my position. They would swear this is their card. Their card's on the bottom, and I've got a pinky break above it. I pick up the card case, put it on here, open the flaps wide, wideflaps.com. Turn this over, lift up with the thumb and lift. And this visual, and you'll find that this visual of slipping the cards into the case with the cards still out jogged totally sells it. Now, what's happening is because of the break above the selection at the bottom, I am slipping all the cards, and the selection is naturally going below the card case, okay? I square everything in, boom, very slowly. What you want to do too, a little tip for you here, is don't just square the selection below the case, neatly on the bottom. You don't want that. It's actually better, once you square it in, is to move the card case forward on the palm, okay? Like this, with a little bit of the selection. Now, out the back. What that means is there's no chance of it flashing, because I am burning. I'm asking people to burn the front of this, and I want to make sure there's no chance of it flashing. Yes, this edge of my left first finger is going to conceal everything. It's true. But I really want to cover my bets, and so I sign like this. This is kicked a little further back, and so now I can basically put this in someone's face and do this. And boy, oh boy, that's the video I want them to really remember. You couldn't get fairer. Right? Now, to make sure you don't flash this, I come over, I square everything, and now I'm going to square the card on the bottom of the case, flush with the case, okay? As I adjust here and come up, I pivot. You don't want to come up here. You want to pivot. The hand goes from here, pivots around, okay, almost like a clock, the hand of a clock, while the thumb comes over and readjusts, okay? Now I can close the case, and I can either take, it's behind there, I can either bury it in my hand or hold it at my fingertips, vary depending on your angles and all these things. But basically, you're going to close the case. Okay. You're there, all closed up. Now, I'm going to bring over the hands. Having done that, focus that. I bring my attention up and I look people in the eyes and I say, do you feel you could have taken any card? Or you remember your card right? Did you see his card? And I engage people up on my face, okay? Either that, or maybe I'll sneeze into my hand and smear like a rotten jam all the snot on my face. Whatever it takes to bring people's focus up. That's what I'm all about. While they come up, I'm just holding, I'm sort of coming down and getting ready. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the card off the bottom of the card case directly into right hand palm. Okay? This is a standard two-hand action, palm action. Pushing off, sort of a side steal, old-time side steal, like that, into the palm. Okay. I'm here, and they're looking up, so there's no pressure as I palm that card, take it on top, and now as their eyes start coming down, I do this. And this action can kind of, after the fact, if you're feeling like if you're feeling stressed about the palm, notice that this action kind of can cover your sense of that you were doing something. If anybody thinks there was something going on, by the time they're down there and you're turning this over, it's like, okay, he was just starting to flip this over. Okay? So you can turn this over a couple of times, and not too many times where people think you're making butter. Very weird churning butter gesture. I apologize for that. All those old-fashioned jokes should require a horse going by. Now, this illusion of me giving the card case a firm shake and a card popping up is super pretty. So from below it looks like this. I've got it in palm, right? And I'm here, and nobody sees that my tip of my finger is going to reach over and quickly pull that in. Okay? I'm here, and I'm just going to kick it over, not with the first, but with the second finger. It's going to be pushed over. Okay? The illusion is here, here. Up it comes, okay? Like this, I pause. Let that really register. Let people see that you really didn't move your fingers, you didn't move your thumb. All you did was shake the case. See that? Then come over, let them see this. Remember, as soon as I take this off, all they have is the memory. All they're gonna have is the memory a second later, which is why when you have these magic moments happen, lock it. Let them see it, let it register. Then move into action, turn this over. And if this is a sign card with ambitious card, I think it makes it even more powerful. Don't be frustrated. Don't beat yourself up. Don't doubt yourself if palming cards is taking time. You know, the thing about palming cards, and the same this with all sleights, but I find particularly with palming cards, is there's the physical element, just getting it down and feeling comfortable. Then there's the emotional element of not sweating or soiling yourself in the middle of, if you're just, I remember learning these, and as I say on this channel a lot, I have small hands, okay? Let me do this, I do this. I want you to see, okay? I want you to grab a card, this is a poker-sized card, put it in your hand, okay? And I bet everybody over the age of 3 has a bigger, I mean, it's a small hand, it really is. Now, if you happen to have very thin fingers, because you don't eat enough, you have thin fingers, you got big honking windows and things, then it's true. It makes certain kinds of techniques almost impossible, okay? Though it reminds me of how old timers would say, wouldn't matter if my thumb tip was made of gold. They wouldn't see it because I'd know how to conceal it, and there's truth in that. You can say to yourself, there's no way with these windows I could get away with it, but I could find just some total pro magician who knows how to audience manage, and he'd get away with it or she'd get away with it every time. Okay, so, but my point is palming takes time. It takes time to get comfortable with it. 2-hand palm, 1-hand palm. So don't beat yourself up, put in the practice, and it will come together, okay? Little tip on palming for you. I hope you like this video. I put a lot of effort into my videos. I really try to make sure I get you the information you need to learn this stuff, not just be amazed and get the broad stroke. I hope that's coming across. Thank you so much for watching and for all the comments you guys have been leaving. So I hope you like the video. If you do, please hit that button. It's always exciting to check a video out after 24 hours and see a whole bunch of people have liked it. So please do that. And please subscribe to the channel, man. At least twice a week, sometimes 8 days a week. Thank you. Sort of a weird, is that a Beatles reference? Lots of times, anyways. I put at least 2 videos a week. I'm sure there's one coming very, very soon. The next one may not be a card trick or coin trick. Could be with a borrowed item. Could be something mentalism. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here on the channel. And I hope you subscribe, and I hope to read a comment from you very soon. Thank you so much.